This video is on rates and unit analysis. Unit analysis helps you find a conversion factor that lets you convert a given measurement to a different unit. On page 817 in your text, you'll find common measurement conversions, like this one here, 1 foot to 12 inches. Here's an example of how a conversion factor works. If I have 1 foot over 12 inches, that's basically the same as 12 inches over 12 inches because there's 12 inches in 1 foot. This is the same value. They're equal to each other. Well, 12 over 12 is 1, so basically the value of this conversion factor, or any conversion factor you might use, is 1. Here's another example. Let's say that I have 1 minute over 60 seconds. This is basically 60 seconds over 60 seconds. Or I could write it as 1 minute over 1 minute, or 1. Now let's use a conversion factor to convert a measurement to different units. Let's stick with foot and feet and inches. Let's say that I have 4 feet, and I want to know what that is in inches. You can take it and multiply it by a conversion factor. Remember, your conversion factor equals 1, so you're not really changing the value. If I'm going to convert feet to inches, I'm going to use a foot to inches conversion factor. I always want to put the thing I'm converting on the bottom. So I'm going to write 1 foot, and on top I'm going to write 12 inches. Now notice I have feet on the top and the bottom, and both of these can cancel out, which will leave my answer in inches. Well, 12 times 4 is 48, so 4 feet equals 48 inches. Let's do this again with minutes and seconds. Let's imagine that I have 3 minutes, and I want to convert it to seconds. I'm going to take 3 minutes, and I'm going to multiply it by some conversion factor of minutes to seconds. Again, minutes is the thing I'm converting, so that's what I'm going to put on the bottom of my conversion factor, 1 minute. On the top, I'm going to put what I want to convert it to. Again, minutes cancel out, and I'm going to be left with seconds. 60 times 3 would give me 180 seconds as my answer. So this is the basic way you use a conversion factor. Now let's talk about different kinds of units. One example here is rates. A rate is a comparison using division of quantities measured in different units. Rates are often expressed as fractions. So here's a specific one. Let's say that I'm going 60 miles for every 1 hour. This would be called a rate, where I'm using a division of quantities measured in different units. Miles versus hours are the units, and it's expressed as a fraction. Now a unit rate is a special kind of rate. It has a denominator of 1, so for instance 60 miles over 1 hour would be considered a unit rate. If I said 120 miles over 2 hours, this would not be considered a unit rate, but it would be a rate. This is a special kind of rate, or a unit rate, because it has a denominator of 1. Now let's experiment with this a little bit. Let's say that I have 17 meters per second. How would I write this as a rate? right? Well, I want to write it as a fraction. So I'm going to write 17 meters per 1 second. Now it's written as a fraction. Is this a unit rate? Yes, because it has a denominator of 1. So this would be a unit rate. Let's look at another example. I have $360 per ounce. How would I write that as a rate? Well, I'd write $360 over 1 ounce. Again, this is a unit rate because it has a denominator of 1. Alright, let's use this or apply this. Let's say that a milk cow grazes in a field and eats about 30 pounds of grass per day. Alright, let's write this as a rate. 30 pounds per 1 day. Again, this is a rate because I have two separate units. It's a special rate. It's a unit rate because it has a denominator of 1. Now, how many pounds does a cow eat in 5 days? Right? I want to convert this. So I'm going to take 30 pounds for 1 day. And I'm going to multiply this by 5 days. Notice I have day here and day there, so these will cancel out. My answer is going to be left in pounds. Well, 30 times 5 gives me 150. So in 5 days, a cow eats 150 pounds. Let's do one more example. Let's say I want to carpet a rectangular bedroom. The bedroom has the dimensions of 5 yards by 4 yards. Right? That means that my entire area is 20 yards squared. Let's say that for every square yard of carpet, it costs me $11.50 per 1 yard squared. This would be a rate, and specifically a unit rate. I need 20 square yards, so I'm going to multiply this by 20 yards squared. My yards squared cancel out. If I multiply 20 times $11.50, I get a total of $230, which is what it would cost me to purchase the carpet for the room. So this is an example of using rates and unit analysis.